Our first question is for Mark Masters from TSN. Mark, go ahead.
Hi, Andre. Obviously, we didn't get the chance to see the game, so who stood out to you? Who do you think had a good night tonight?
Well, we have the line of McMichael, Cousin, and Doc. They had a really good night, especially in the power play. They were really productive there. So that was obviously the best line in the Team White. And then Team Red, probably the line of Newhook, Holloway, and Pelletier was the best line.
With that McMichael Cousins Doc unit, do you see yourself using them moving forward? What sort of potential do you see for that trio now moving forward?
Well, they make it tough for us to break it right now. So we'll keep going with that. I think that's something where with vision can be a really good line moving forward. So we'll see how the rest of the lineup unfold, but that's a good option for us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Our next question is for Sam Cosentino from Sportsnet. Sam, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, Bear. So we're pretty certain about the one line that you just talked about, but when you're looking at line composition for the rest of the group, are you trying to think of what might work here for the tournament? Are you trying to put players in maybe the best spots or where you might see them in a role? Like how does that come together for you?
That's a good question, Sam. A few things. We try to give a good opportunity to some player to play with really good player. We try some combination. We move things around as well during the game, just to see a position. We try Pete and Krebs, on the wing. Want to see if he can be comfortable to play on the wing, which he looks really good. We had a few tweaks like that in our lineup. We try to have a good depth in our lineup to give a good chance at a lot of players.
So just as a follow-up, Andre, I know the whole cut situation. Would you plan on doing something after tonight, which would mean tomorrow morning, or would you allow everyone to play in both games?
It's a good question. We're not set on that. We'll have some discussion tonight. We're heading to the hotel right after this, and we'll have some discussion, and we'll see what's next. We won't have anything tonight, but we'll see moving forward.
Okay, thanks. And I still have my pads if you need me.
Thank you, Sam.
Our next question is for John Abbott from TSN. John, go ahead.
Andre, the 5 goalies is a lot still. What's the plan for them moving forward? Do you get all 5 into the game tomorrow night as well? How do you handle that in such a short amount of time?
Good question, John. Do you have a solution for me?
Unless it's another net on the half boards, no.
So we talk a little bit about it after the game, but we will sleep on that and take decision. Well, Actually, we'll have a meeting when we'll get the hotel, the management and the coaches, and we'll talk about it. One thing I can tell you is when we had the discussion in the coaches' room after the game, it was more clear in our head where we were heading. But is it clear enough to take our decision right now? It's a good question. That's what we need to talk with a little bit more depth about it.
Thank you. And one more just on the line complexion. I think you had 15 guys that were with you at the Hlinka as well. And then, of course, some guys from last year's tournament. Do you go back and think of players that played well together, or are you just living in the present and seeing what clicks?
More live in the present. I think those guys really improve, change, and we had a line in Hlinka to talk about it. We had Jimison Reeves with Suzuki and Josh Williams, who's not here, but they were a really good line for us. So I think 2 years later, then there's a lot of things change. The player grow or improve or whatever. So I think at the end of the day, we're looking at what we see right now and the fit and style of play in a hockey sense, and they need to think the game a little bit in the same way. So we go in a little bit more with that and our gut feeling.
Thanks, Bear.
Thank you.
Adam Kittleman from NHL.com. Adam, go ahead.
Hi, Andre. Just want to go back to the goalies for a second. I know the 5 guys, they each got a little bit of playing time. Did any of them stand out to you one way or the other? Did they impress you in any way in their little bit of ice time tonight?
Yeah. You would like to have names now, but I think we had I would say Gauthier was really good tonight. I think is the one name I can say. I really like his presence. Play only one period, but he made key save and he was really sharp right from the get-go. So I will go with that one.
And then just in general, because, it's a little bit easier for the skaters to kind of get their legs going under them earlier, is the goaltending shaping up to be the hardest decision that you guys as a group are going to have to make just because of the way the evaluation process has worked here?
Yeah, yes, it is. It's a tough decision. I think we have 5 good goalies at the camp. We'll need to take decision and get down to 3 ASAP, so we can work with those guys and work with the guy we believe will be the 3 guys who will help us to go in the tournament. So it's a position we feel a little bit more urgency to get down to our numbers and having more time to work with them.
Thanks, Andre.
Thank you.
Scott Wheeler from The Athletic, go ahead.
Hi, Andre. Just wanted to follow up a little bit on Jack Quinn. You mentioned it earlier in camp before this long pause that you guys had, that he looked a little hesitant, maybe a little nervous. I saw he appeared on the score sheet tonight. Just your impression of him once you guys got back into action, and seems like he was playing with some pretty talented players as well.
Yeah, he played good tonight. I think he had good practice yesterday. He was good today. I know really well Jack, so I know what he can do. I know what type of player he is, and I think tonight he had more legs, he had more jump, and less hesitation in his game. He was feeling much better.
My question is, we talk a lot about the top 6 guys. What about the bottom 6 guys? Who is a guy that stood out in that role that could really come through in the clutch for you, as they always seem to do?
Yeah, it's a really good question, but at the same time, it's a touchy question, because if I tell you who's in the top 6 and who's on the bottom 6, it will be good if I talk to the player first. I think that will be well advised to do that. So I want to be really careful when I talk about player. I think I talk about specific players. So I think we have the looks up front to have a lot of depth. If you look just by the draft NHL number of first round pick and other guys who did not get drafted in the first round, but they do really good right now at our camp. We have a lot of those. So we're fortunate to have a lot of depth up front.
And then my next question is, obviously the expectations for Canada at this tournament are obvious. But what about the experience? I mean, this is going to be a World Junior Championship like no other. So how are you preparing to give these guys this experience of a lifetime that they've grown up watching on TV? So what is the expectation for you there?
I think that the hype with the media, the fans and everything is part of the experience. You're totally right on that. But at the same time, you need to focus on what you can control. And the most important thing for us right now is to prepare to play hockey and to play as a team and to play hard and to play structured hockey and to be dedicated to our job. And that is how we will get the best experience, because without our best performance, it won't be as good as experience. So we need to make sure we take care of business. We're the most prepared team. We're the hardest working team, and the rest of Hockey Canada do a fantastic job to give us all the environment to give that unbelievable experience to our players. So I think it's a teamwork, and I think the player has to do their part, the coach has to do their part, and Hockey Canada do a fantastic job to surround our players the right way.
And I'm just curious, now that you have a better idea of the makeup of your team, and I think you just touched on it a little bit, but what's the identity of Team Canada this year?
We'll have a lot of depth up front. We'll have 4 lines who will bring a lot of energy, a lot of intensity. We want to be a team who will have a lot of speed, but skill on our fourth line. I think we'll have 4 line who can score goal, who can defend, who can play both sides of the puck. We want to really go at our opponent with a lot of depth. And the same thing on the back end. I think we will have a solid group of defensemen who can be physical, who can skate and move the puck. So I think that and a lot of that is the word I have in mind right now. The intensity of our game will be what will make the difference for us.